up every single day that we sit here and do nothing.
Jerome Mayhew.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. It's been a truism across so many of the speeches today that we have a universal desire for the violence to stop and for the violence to stop immediately. The only question that exercises us in this chamber today is what is the most effective method to achieve that immediate cessation of violence? Now, I'm going to give the SNP the courtesy of addressing their motion. This is an SNP debate today, and it's their motion which is important. But they make no reference at all to the Hamas attack on the 7th of October last year. That's been referred to multiple times today. They make no reference in that motion to the stated intention of Hamas to repeat atrocities again and again, similar to and worse than that which was achieved on the 7th of October. And yet, we know that removing Hamas from Gaza, again, something which that motion makes no reference to, is the only way to stop civilians, Israeli and Palestinian, from being killed. Because if you address only half of the issue, Mr Deputy Speaker, you will condemn any ceasefire to failure and to a renewed cycle of killing time and time again. And the appalling history, I won't give way because I've got so little time, I'm sorry. And it just condemns us to a repetition of this appalling history of violence. So the most important thing for the people in the region right now is an immediate cessation of violence, which is achieved by a humanitarian pause. It stops the fighting, it gets the aid in, and it allows for the hostages to come out. And it's not delayed by the wider ceasefire negotiations, which are inevitable because it's complex. But it does make space for those negotiations to take place. And what are those negotiations going to have to deal with? They're going to have to deal with the release of all hostages. A one-sided ceasefire is no ceasefire at all. A ceasefire that leaves Hamas in possession of the hostages is no ceasefire. It has to deal with the imposition or the recreation of a Palestinian government for both the West Bank and Gaza, freeing the people of Gaza from the terror of Hamas. Because they don't just terrorise Israelis, they terrorise Palestinians as well. And crucially, Mr Deputy Speaker, it has to lead to a credible and irreversible pathway to a two-state solution. Now, this all takes time, but the fighting, it needs to stop now. And so the government is absolutely right with their amendment to call for an immediate humanitarian pause to give space for ceasefire negotiations, but to stop the killing now.
Ian Paisley.
Thank you very much, Mr Deputy Speaker.